Hi, I'm Alexander Maxim from Ethiopian IO. Today we will talk about the MongoDB. It's a simple tutorial for beginners. We will take a definition about MongoDB and where we can use it. Also, what's the databases, how to create, drop and show and use databases, and we'll talk about collections and the documents. So let's start. Firstly, what's the MongoDB? MongoDB is a cross-platform and open source document-oriented database, a kind of NoSQL, because we have the SQL and the NoSQL. So it's NoSQL database. MongoDB shows the relation databases table-based structure to adapt JSON like documents, for example, that have dynamic schema, which is which it calls JSON. So this makes data integration for certain types of applications faster and easier. So MongoDB is built for scalability, high availability and performance from a single server deployment to large and complex multi-site infrastructure. So the MongoDB was first developed by MongoDB Inc., known then as ChanGen, in October 2007, originally as a major part in a PaaS, which is platform as a service, a product similar to Windows, Azure and Google App Engine. The development was shifted to open source in 2009. MongoDB became one of the most popular NoSQL database, being used as the backend, let's say, for many major websites, for example, eBay or SourceForge and the New York Times also. MongoDB is available under the GNU Author General Public license, while its language driver are available under the Apache license. So now we have our websites, our website or our official website for MongoDB, which is www.mongodb.com. We have here our index page. We will download our version from here, get MongoDB, from this button. We have the Atlas version, which is in the cloud, MongoDB in the cloud. You can connect and store data, fetch data, do what you want in the cloud, but we will do this thing locally in our machine. So we have three versions. For example, the Windows, Linux. For me, I will download the Windows for 64 bits. I will just download it, and after download, just install the version. Then we must open a CMD here. The CMD, we will type just MongoDB because we have two files to do. The first is the MongoDB. Then after type this and click enter, it will listen to the port 27017. Then we will open another CMD, which is here the Mongo, because we have the MongoDB, the MongoDB and the Mongo applications to connect and to do what we want for this database. So after typing Mongo and click enter, this is the interface we have connected in our server. So firstly, where we can use the MongoDB, we can use it in the big data, for example, also in the data hub. So and what's the requirements to use the MongoDB? You must firstly have knowledge about the databases that we will explain right now, and you must have an installed version, as I mentioned, of the MongoDB. You should know the basic of the SQL DBMS. Now, what's the database? Database is, the most general sense, is an organized collection of data. More specifically, a database is an electronic system that allows data to be easily accessed, manipulated, and updated. So here in MongoDB, to show our databases, just we type show databases. Show databases, or show DBS, like it. It will give us the local chest and UT, which is my own database. So the by default you have the local and the chest databases in each machine. We have the local and the chest. If you create another database, it will be shown here. So now, to firstly, let's see the difference between the SQL and no SQL databases. Here we have my SQL here. So to show databases, just we type show databases, like it, and these are all my databases. So just we can open and simplify a little of terms here. We have the word databases or database, the same word in the MongoDB or in MySQL is the same in the MongoDB, and here we have the Mongo. For example, you have that database, and here the same thing, we have a database. Then we have also, for example, the tables. We have here another term which is the collections. The same meaning. The tables here in MySQL is the collections in MongoDB. We have also the rows, or we can say the rows, which are the documents here. So to create a database and to create tables or collections in MongoDB, and rows, which is the data in the data, and documents in MongoDB. So firstly, let's create a database. To create a database, just we type here we are in the MySQL. Just we return to the MongoDB. Just type use and the name of your database. If you have already created this database, it will use it. If your database that you will create now it exists, so it will use it. But if there is no database, like the name, that you have type, so it will use it. Firstly, let's for example use UT that we have here, switch it to the database UT. So we have just this database, and we have created the same database, so it will use it. Then if for example we will use a utopian database, here, the utopian database, it will create this database just to know to know which to know the database that we use. Now just type db and it will show the utopian database. So now if we show databases, our new database doesn't appear here. So to appear, it must have documents or collections with data. So firstly, let's drop our UT database. So just we create, we use the UT firstly, then to check if we are with the UT, then we write drop database and drop it UT OK1. So let's show DBS to check yes it works. We have just the local and the test databases. So now we have another thing. We will explain what's the collections and how to create, drop and update collection for this MongoDB. So the collection or the collections is a group of MongoDB documents. It's the equivalent of a table, as I explained in SQL. So to create a collection, just we type db.create collection and the name of the collection, for example sponsors. And now we have our collections. So just we type show collections to see, or show collections to see our collections, and we have sponsors and system indexes, which is by default collection. So we have the sponsors collection. Now we have another we can say another way to create a collection, which is the db create collection, the same method but with another parameter, which is for example for contributions, yes. Then many of parameters, for example capped, which is a true or false, a boolean value to manipulate the size. We can choose to manipulate the size. We have also auto index ID to be true or false, to be the ID to be auto index, primary key, as we can say for the SQL, and we have the size, which is a number, for example, and the max, which is a number also. And like it, we have created our collection. Just show collections, and we have the contributions, the sponsors, and the system index. So this is how to create a collection in MongoDB. Then to drop a collection, just db dot the name of the collection, which is contributions, for example, drop, and the value is true. So let's see the collections, and we have the sponsors, just the sponsors and the system indexes. This is this is how to create and drop collections. We have many types of data in MongoDB, for example, string, date, boolean, and number, etc. We have many types of data we can use to create data and to create documents, let's say, in MongoDB. So now let's create or let's store data. Let's insert values in our collection, which is sponsors. For example, for the sponsors, I want to insert, for example, the ID, which is an hexadecimal number or serial. We can it's unique for each value or each document in our collection and in our database. So this ID, as I explained, is contains 12 bytes, an hexadecimal serial. So to insert inside a collection, just we have the method db firstly, and our collection, which is sponsors dot insert, and we have the parameters, which is the values. For example, the ID is by default, and I want, for example, to the name, which is Alexander, and also, for example, the age, which is 22. Yeah, let's say, yeah, like it's the first document. So the result one is inserted. So let's see, or let's insert another one inside the sponsors dot insert. The same thing. The name is Maxim, for example. The age is 20 or 30, like kids, and great. Now we have create our or insert into our sponsors collection our two documents. Now I want to show these documents in for example, in SQL we have the instruction, which is, for example, let's use the test and show tables. We have these tables. So let's, for example, select from avion, and these are the informations or the data inside our inside this table or this collection in the MongoDB. How to fetch data, or how to show data or documents that we have created. So just we use the sponsors collection, and the method find will show our objects here as JSON objects. The name is Alexander and the age is 22. The name is Maxim and the age is 13. This is the ID. It's unique for each one of them. Great. Now we have in the find we have also the db.sponsors.find1. It will give us the first one of our documents, which is the ID is this is ID. The name is Alexander and the age is 22. Let's use the sponsors fine and pretty, and the pretty will so we'll show our documents with this schema, the object, the ID, the name, the age. Let's just type db dot sponsors dot find, just find. It will be like it in the same horizontal result, but if we use the sponsors dot find dot pretty here, it will be with this schema like it. Object ID Alexander, the age, the ID, the name, like it. Great. Now we have also the where in the SQL. For example, I want to show just the documents that has the age, for example, less than 25, for example. Let's do that. We have db.sponsors.find. Inside the find we have, for example, here the age, which is, for example, the age is less than 25. It will show to us the first document, just the first document. Why? Because the age of the second document is 30, and we can't it can't show this document because the condition here is less than 25. Let's, for example, try another thing. Sponsors.find, here the age is for example greater than 25, and we have the second document, which is Maxim with the age 13. Now, for example, let's add another document for the sponsors. Insert, and the name, which is, for example, anything, Alex, and the age is for example 25, and see what happens. So we just type the sponsors.find to check if our, we have here the 25. So if we use this greater than 25, it will give us the 13, and if we use the less than 25, it will give us the 22. But if I want equals to 25, just I type here less than equals 25, it will give us less than or equals to 25, and this is the condition. It will give us the two documents here, the Alex and Alexander. Great. Now I want to update the age of Alexander to 23. Just I check the DB, the sponsors, and update. I will give it the age, which is 22, 2, or I can give the all information Alexander, and the age is 22, 2. For example, to name the same name Alexander, and the age is, for example, 23, and let's check, or this is where in the name here we have so missing after ID. So we have the name, here is Alexander, the age, the name. Great. Let's just rewrite it, because this is for example the age, just the age is 22. I will check the age, for example for 23. And yeah, let's see our new document. So let's find pretty and see. Here we have so our age is 23 because we have inserted the age. No, the have replaced the age, sorry, no, the name. So let's update it and update it 23 to 23, and the name is Alexander. And let's just show the documents by the find.pretty again, and this is our documents. So I want now to delete, to remove the for example one of these documents. So let's remove the remove Alex. Just db.sponsors.remove, and I will give it the name which is Alex. I must give it a query, a condition by the name, by the age, by the ID, which is a unique ID, because we can add or we can insert two documents with the same name, Alex for example, but it's unique by the ID, which is a primary key in the SQL. And now let's just remove it, and one is removed. Just I will check by the db.sponsors. For example, find, and we have just two documents. Great. So this is what I want to explain. So this is our tutorial today. We have learned what's the MongoDB, what's the databases, how to create, show, use, drop databases, how to create collections and drop collections, how to create documents, update, and how to fetch data, all of them. So thank you for watching.